He said 4 words. 4 simple, quiet, perfectly timed words. "I'll be right back." Walked out the door, got in his car and drove away. And just like that, Mike became a legend. If you ever been taken for granted by someone who thought your kindness was a weakness, this one's for you. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and get comfortable, because what Mike pulled off is one of the cleanest, most satisfying pieces of poetic justice I have ever heard. Let's get into it. This story didn't happen to me directly. It happened to my college buddy. Let's call him Mike. But I've been telling this story for years because honestly, it deserves to be told. It deserves to be celebrated. Mike was one of those genuinely good guys. Not perfect, not a pushover, just decent. He opened doors, he remembered things people told him. He showed up when he said he would. In a world that sometimes treats that kind of man like background noise, Mike was the kind of friend you wanted in your corner. And then there was her. I won't give her a name because honestly she doesn't deserve one in this story. Let's just call her what she was to Mike at the time, the girl. Beautiful, popular, magnetic. The kind of person who walks into a room and immediately rearranges the social gravity of it. Mike had been crushing on her hard, and I mean hard. The kind of crush that makes a man check his phone every 10 minutes for no real reason. That makes him rehearse sentences before he sends a text. That makes him genuinely believe that if he could just get her to see him, really him, everything will fall into place. So he asked her out. She said she was busy. He asked her again. Busy again. And again. Busy. Now here's the thing, and this is the part that makes your stomach turn a little if you've ever been in Mike's shoes. She never actually shut him down. She never said, "I am not interested." She never said, "Please stop asking." She kept things just warm enough to keep him hopeful. A smile here, a laugh there, and maybe another time that sounded almost like a promise. She liked the attention. She liked having someone orbit her. And Mike, being Mike, kept showing up like the sun, reliable and warm, and completely unaware he was being used as a backup plan. Then one day, the universe handed Mike an unexpected gift. A friend of his had scored 2 tickets to a sold-out U2 concert, and then suddenly needed to get out of town for a family emergency. The tickets were available, front seat, the real deal. Mike's heart probably did something embarrassing in his chest when he realised what he was holding. He called her immediately, and for the first time, finally, after all those rejections, she said yes. Mike was thrilled. He told me later that in that moment, everything felt like it was clicking into place. He wasn't naive about it. He knew it wasn't a declaration of love, but it was a yes, a real, actual yes. He cleaned his car, he planned the evening, he counted down the days like a kid before the holidays. The night of the concert arrived. They got to the arena, the energy was electric. That Pacific kind of crackling, pre-show anticipation when thousands of people are packed together waiting for something great to happen. They found their seats, things felt good. Mike was relaxed, charming, actually enjoying himself. Maybe this was really happening. And then she glanced across the arena and said carefully, almost bored, "Oh, I see my friend. I'll be right back." She stood up, she walked away, and she never came back. Mike sat in those seats for the entire concert, alone, and I want you to really sit with that image for a moment. A good man, a kind man, surrounded by tens of thousands of people having the time of their lives, sitting completely alone because someone couldn't extend him even the basic courtesy of a goodbye. He kept his eyes on the aisle. He checked his phone. No text, no calls, nothing. When the show ended and the lights came up and the crowd began to pour out, Mike stayed. Because he genuinely thought that she would come back to the seat. That's where she looked for him, right? He waited until the arena was empty. He waited outside. He called. He texted. Silence. He drove home alone. The next morning he woke up and the hurt had curled into something sharper, something righteous. He was angry, not the explosive, out of control kind of angry, but the slow, cold, fully justified kind, the kind that settles in your chest and clarifies everything. She called around noon. Her voice was all soft and apologised. She ran into her ex. They had a long talk. They worked things out. She'd lost track of time. She'd even missed most of the concert herself, so she was sorry. She hoped he could forgive her. And here's where Mike did something that surprised me even when he told me the story. He accepted the apology. Calmly, graciously, he told her he understood and that these things happen and that he appreciated her reaching out. He even asked, almost as an afterthought, if she'd like to try again sometimes, have a proper night out, just the two of them. She practically glowed through the phone. She said yes. She told him how sweet he was, how forgiving. She told him she had underestimated him. She had underestimated him. Those words must have landed somewhere deep because Mike smiled and he started to plan. The following Saturday, he picked her up looking sharp. He was warm, attentive, funny, the best version of himself, completely at ease. He made a reservation at a high-end seafood restaurant about an hour up the coast. The kind of place with crisp white tablecloths, a wine list that requires a second read, and appetizers that cost what most people spend on groceries for a week. The drive was perfect. Mike kept the conversation light and easy. No tension, no lingering awkwardness. He was a gentleman. He was present. She probably thought she misjudged him, that maybe this was actually going somewhere. They were seated. The waiter came. Mike recommended a bottle of wine, a good one. They ordered appetizers, scallops, maybe, something with truffle. The entree came next, rich and extravagant and completely worth it. The kind of meal that makes you feel like the world is a civilized and beautiful place. They were laughing, things were good. And then Mike glanced towards the back of the restaurant, folded his napkin, set it beside his plate and said quietly, casually, with absolute precision, "I'll be right back." He walked through the restaurant, through the front door, across the parking lot. He got into his car and he drove away. I don't know exactly what happened at that table after he left. I don't know the precise moment she realised he wasn't coming back. I don't know if it was 5 minutes in or 10, or when the waiter came to refill the water glasses and she had to make that awkward eye contact. I don't know if she called someone to come and get her, or sat there longer than she should have, or had to quietly negotiate with the restaurant over a bill that had her name on the reservation. What I do know is this: she felt in that restaurant some version of what Mike felt in that arena. Alone, waiting, wondering. The difference is she earned it. Mike didn't make a scene. He didn't send a text. He didn't need the last word. He just quietly, elegantly handed her a mirror and let her see exactly what she'd done. That night, driving home along the coast, I imagine Mike felt something settled inside him. Not bitterness, not guilt, just peace. The clean, uncomplicated peace of a man who finally stopped asking to be treated with respect and simply demanded it without saying a single word. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do isn't to argue or explain or beg someone to understand your worth. Sometimes it's to simply show them in the most poetic way possible exactly what they chose to throw away. Mike didn't need her to apologize again. He didn't need closure. He already gave himself the only thing that mattered, his dignity back. If Mike's story hit different, if you've ever had a moment where someone finally got what they deserved, smash that like button and let me know in the comments. Have you ever witnessed a revenge this clean, this perfectly timed? Drop your story below, because the best revenge tales come from you. Subscribe to CrimeFlux so you never miss a story like this one. Share this one with someone who needs to hear it today.